the crooks to the location or the little sign on the side of the building that told them that it was easy pickings, no firearms allowed sign. Jerry Henry, executive director for GeorgiaCarry.org, told this to guns.com.
Well, and we need to point out that some states, if they have a sign on their door that says no guns allowed, that doesn't carry the weight of the law. In some states, however, the sign does carry the weight of the law. And if you are found that you have a firearm in one of these locations, that you could face criminal charges.
Right, and what she means by the weight of law is that if in some states, if they post a sign and you carry a gun on there concealed, even with a concealed license, it's illegal. It's unlawful. In Florida, where we're at, that's not the case. Signs on the door does not carry the weight of law. So basically, we just consider those suggestions, unless it's on the list of prohibited places that the state edicts tell us that we can't carry. We pretty much carry wherever we go.
However, if we do come across a place that says no guns allowed, we really don't want to give them our money, so we find someplace else to do our business.
Yeah, one example of that, Buffalo Wild Wings, in the town next to us where we go sometimes, they have a no guns allowed store. I think that's probably a nationwide policy that they have.
Probably.
And that's just a place that we don't give money to anymore.
That's right.
Well, I guess that just about wraps it up for Guns in the News. Let's move on to our defensive gun use.
Go ahead. Make my day.
6845, shots fired at my location.
And now, defensive gun uses from around the world and around the block.
Well, everybody has heard about the evil clowns that have been making appearances across the country.
Oh, that's a great story since it's Halloween. And this
yes.
Our first episode's on Halloween. So,
well, not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, a woman in Auburn, Maine, told the Lewiston Auburn Sun-Journal that a man dressed as a clown threatened her as she sat on her porch. This 49-year-old woman did not want to be identified, but she said a black SUV pulled up to her home, rolled down one of the rear windows, and a clown was sitting in the back seat of the car. He had a red afro wig and a red nose. The smile was creepy, the painted-on one. And she said, "I'm not afraid of clowns," and she started laughing. And she thought, it's almost Halloween, so she wasn't too concerned about it. But then the clown formed his hand into the shape of a gun, pointed it at the woman, and mimed bang at her. The woman was shaken by this display, but she had her legal firearm with her, and she said, "I picked up my 9mm. I didn't point it at him directly, but said, 'Back at you, clown.'"
Good for her.
And at that point, the SUV drove off with the clown still inside.
Probably wetting his little clown outfit.
Oh, probably. And in another incident around the same time, a Texas man was approached by two people dressed as clowns. It was about 10:30 p.m., and a man in the town of Pampa heard laughing outside of his home as he was working in his garage. When he looked outside, he saw two people dressed as clowns entering his front yard. The man reportedly told the clowns, "Leave," but they ignored him and continued advancing toward his home. That's when he retrieved a pistol and fired a warning shot. The clowns ran off after the shot was fired. So, I don't know if it was a smart thing to fire a warning shot, but it caused the clowns to leave his premises.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to fire a warning shot. That's frowned upon by most police agencies. But yeah, this clown thing is getting a little out of hand. I mean, I wonder what's caused the uptick in incidents where that has started happening. It seems like I remember seeing something on the internet about some kind of new horror movie that had to do with clowns. And when it first started, I was thinking, oh, this is probably some kind of publicity stunt, to get publicity for that movie. But
this has been going on for a couple of years.
Well,
it's not been as often. It's more often recently as it was back in the beginning. But this has been going on for quite a while. But I think that as more and more of these incidences pop up, it's going to become more of a hazard, because I think that more criminal activity is going to take place.
Yeah, and two, I have no problems with clowns, but when they start standing in the edge of woods and trying to entice children to come, into the woods and stuff like that, that's an issue. That's a problem. And these people who are, copycats who are, doing this, they need to grasp the seriousness of what they're doing, because there's a lot of people who are just like us out there who carry concealed, and they're not going to take any clown crap. If they make a motion toward them or a threatening move like that, they're going to find themselves getting shot unnecessarily. So it's not a good idea.
I mean, even if they didn't mean to do that person any harm, if somebody with a scary clown face starts approaching, then yeah, that person may feel threatened. And
even more so because it's been, so prevalent in the news here lately as well. Your clown story reminded me, especially since we're recording this on Halloween of 2016, October 31st, 2016, that we should probably play this public service announcement.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Speaking of Guns podcast. I am your host, your ghost host. Your cadaverous pallor portrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting uneasiness. Kindly obey the following rules, lest you wish to join us here in the spirit world. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you are on target and ready to shoot. Always keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. With the exception of your defensive firearm, kindly store your guns and ammunition separately. And lastly, always know your target and what is beyond it. There you have it, foolish mortals. 4 rules that will keep you among the living. Now, it's time for you to go to the range. There's no turning back.
And we're back. Well, that was scary. I think I peed myself a little bit. Well, that was fun, but on a serious note, it's always important for us to remember, all of us, whether we're new shooters or experienced shooters, to remember those rules of safety, because they're just so important. But getting back to our guns in the news, my last defensive gun use is pastor's wife shoots armed robber as he beat the pastor. You don't want to beat the pastor, people. Come on, what's wrong with you? Fox News reported this one, and this says here that Fox News reports last week in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, police say a pastor's wife pulled out a gun and shot an armed man who was trying to rob her and her family, and the pastor, his wife, and 12-year-old son were returning home when they were approached by a man armed with what appeared to be a rifle Thursday night, it says, and police say a struggle began when the man demanded the pastor's wallet and hit the pastor on the head with the weapon. Police say that when the pastor's wife pulled out her licensed gun and yelled, "Drop the weapon," several times, the pastor told the TV station there everything was like lightning for a minute. I imagine the hit to the top of the head left me a little dazed. He says that he told his wife to shoot the suspect, and she did, hitting the robber in the leg. The suspect was apprehended. His rifle turned out to be a nail gun dressed up with black tape. The robber was treated for his wounds and jailed. And the shooting is under investigation. So basically, he brought a nail gun to a real gunfight.
He didn't expect that coming, did he?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming from the good pastor's wife there. So,
well, good for her. You know, people think that they can prey on pastors and people of that type of genre because they're mild-mannered, they want to help people, but you know what? Everyone has the right to protect themselves, and good for her.
And there's another lesson to be learned here, too, because, you know, some women, they say, well, I don't have to carry a firearm because my husband carries, and we're always together when we go out. But what if he gets taken out of commission? You know, who's going to protect him if, in this situation, when he got clobbered with the nail gun, he was dazed, he was out of it for a moment. She had her gun, fortunately, and was able to save the day. If she relied only on him to have a gun
and do all of the protection,
right, then things could have turned out a lot different there. So kudos to the pastor's wife for taking out the bad guy.
And what a horrible thing for their 12-year-old son to witness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a sad story there. All right, well, I guess that wraps it up for our defensive gun uses. Let's find out what's in the range bag.
Hey baby, it's time to talk about the hot, sexy new guns, holsters, ammo, gadgets, and gear from the firearm marketplace. So come on baby, let me take a peek. What's inside your range bag?
Okay, what's in my range bag? I have a brand new Beretta PX4 Storm 9mm Compact.
Which I might add was a Christmas, or not a Christmas present, it was a birthday present.
It was my birthday present. You forgot?
No, I didn't forget. I corrected myself.
Yes, you did. I've been wanting a Beretta because the company is such a good, reputable company. And we researched for several months before we found the gun that I thought would be perfect for me.
They've been around a long time, Beretta.
They really
what
have.
Was that, like a 1500s or something like that?
Something like that.
That's a long time for any one company, and they're family owned.
They are.
Which is kind of cool.
So my reason for wanting a Beretta brand was if they have been around for that long, they're still in business, they're still going strong, then they must be doing something really, really good. So they have so many different models of handguns that it took us several months to narrow down which one that, with all of the features in it, that would probably be best for me.
You wanted one that was small enough, too, to conceal carry, which was an important consideration when you were choosing the Storm and the Compact.
Right. But it has a really cool 3-dot sight pattern, and I think even in low light, the 3-dot pattern shows up really, really well.
It does. It's a nice sighting system.
Yeah, and also it has a simple field stripping operation to it.
Gotta love that.
I do have to love that. Do not need anything that's going to be difficult to disassemble.
Yeah, we're looking at you. Ruger Mark IIIs.
Well, yeah. The rule in our house is if you shoot it, you clean it. I'm not cleaning that gun. But anyway, back to my Beretta. Tim shot it after I put a few rounds through it, and now he has decided he wants one as well.
I like the gun. It really shot well for me, and I enjoyed shooting it. Being 9mm, it has very little recoil.
Very little recoil.
It's got an external hammer design, and
well, one thing that I like about it too is I'm a lefty, And they are taking us into consideration because this has an ambidextrous safety on it.
That's sweet, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very nice.
For you wrong-handed people.
Not wrong-handed. It's just that we